Get me that signal. We need more power.
Attention, Klingon vessel. This is Captain James T. Cork of the Federation starship Enterprise. You have violated Federation space. You are hereby ordered to pull over and provide your license and registration.
Greetings, Captain.
Quiet, little shat.
This is Captain Kumach of the Klingon Empire. We do not recognize this as Federation space, as we have had a colony on the third planet of this system for well over 200 years. Additionally, you've been methodically destroying our navigation beacons and writing "Federation was here" on all of our orbiting satellites. If you surrender now, we might let your crew live as sewage treatment personnel on the planet.
You don't want to get into a battle with us, Captain Moon. We have examined every possible outcome of such a confrontation, and in all cases, you lose. Here, allow me to show you exactly what I mean on this simulated battlefield.
Ha 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 ha! Your arrogance makes me laugh, Cork, but I do find it refreshing. Our own computers have informed us that there is no possible way that you could escape this system with your miserable lives. Perhaps, if you surrender now, I'll share a nice steaming bowl of gagh with you before I throw you into the brig.
Perhaps you fear finding out the horrible truth by watching our simulation, eh? If you're scared, say you're scared.
I fear nothing from you, human. Show me this simulation, and then I will blast your pitiful ship into the next sector.
Excellent.
Star Trek Attack Wing is a ship-to-ship space combat game from Wizkids. It's based upon the system used for the Star Wars X-Wing miniature game, which Wizkids licensed from Fantasy Flight. There are enough differences, aside from the theme, to make each one a game in its own right. First off, let's just get the whole miniatures question out of the way. I don't think that the Star Trek miniatures are of the same quality as the ones from X-Wing, and I don't really care because I just want to play the game. For those of you who are concerned, let's look closely at the models that came with Attack Wing, and you can judge for yourself if they are up to your standards. Here is the Enterprise D. There, take a close look at the Enterprise D. Oops. And here is the Klingon Mach-Ha. And I should show you that, hard plastic, not flimsy. And then finally, the Romulan Kazara. So now you've seen them in full HD glory. So let's get on with the game. Attack Wing is played on any open surface, like a table, and you just need to have at least a 3-foot by 3-foot area in order to play with this base set. Each player will obviously have at least one ship, so the base game is for 2 or 3 players only. Obviously, if you add more models, you can play with more players, or have a single player control more than one ship. The fun objective of the game is to blow all of your opponent's ships into space dust. For those who want more tangible goals, Attack Wing introduces the concept of missions, which is a very Star Trek thing to do. There are 2 missions included in the base game, and additional ones included with each expansion ship. I believe there's currently 12 additional ships available, with more to be released soon. Along with the ships are the cards, and each ship has its own card with relevant statistics. Attack, power, agility, hull value, and shields. So attack, power, agility, which is your defense, your hull strength, your shields. And ships also have special abilities and certain actions that they can perform. For example, the Enterprise D. Instead of making a normal attack with your primary weapon, you may fire in any direction at a range of 1 to 2 with 3 attack dice. That's a pretty sweet thing to have, let me tell you. There are captain cards included too, and every ship must have a single captain. There are several to choose from for each faction, and by faction I mean Federation, Klingon, or Romulan. Captains have an initiative value, and the higher the better when playing this game. See? He is a 9. Super Captain. I am Super Captain. They also have special abilities, as do basically every card in the game. Other cards include additional weapons, ship upgrades, and crew members. For example, Worf and Worf. Or photon torpedoes. Every card has a point cost listed on it. Over here. See this 5? See? This allows players to build up their ships using the points listed on the cards. All of the players can agree on a certain number of points to use, and then every player selects cards adding up to that total. Of course, they have to include a ship and a captain for that ship. And this is the mechanic that they use to keep the playing field even at the start of the game, which is cool. Now, I actually went to the effort of getting this Starfield printed up, since I own both the Star Wars and the Star Trek versions of this game, and because I just thought it looked cool. You can play it on any table, though. The Starfield is not necessary. Although, did you see this planet? It comes with a planet. I like this planet. Yeah, I know it's not to scale, but it's cool anyway. Each player places their ships according to the rules, or the particular mission that they're playing. And there's a maneuver dial for each ship, and you are limited to the maneuvers on that dial for your ship, which everybody is better at moving than the Federation. You can also see your movement dial here on this card, so you know what your ship can actually do. A template is included for every maneuver, and you simply just use that template. So if I pick this one straight here, I'd go find the one that looks straight. Oh look, here's the one straight. And that's what I would use to move. Let's go through a turn so you can see how the game is played. So here we are. We've been circling this planet for a while. The Klingons and the Federation are going at it. Oh, they're going at it big time. But the Klingons have been cloaked this whole time. And now they're finally going to try to sneak up on the Enterprise. So we're going to find out what happens. Luckily, I'm going to use my handy-dandy quick reference so that I know exactly what I'm going to do. So first off is the planning phase. What happens during the planning phase? Well, each player secretly chooses a maneuver from their dial. Let's see. Well, the Klingons, they just want to go right at the Enterprise and blow them up, but they don't want to fly past them. So they're looking at maybe 2 with a curve towards them. Yes. You notice it's a green maneuver, which means it's not going to cause them any problems at all. If they did a red maneuver, like this left turn here, which, yep, there is one you can do, a 90-degree left turn. Pretty cool. Can't do that on the Enterprise, though. That's a red maneuver, although the 2 isn't. See? But the 3 is. So we're going to go with the green. If you do that, then you cannot do another red maneuver until because you get stuck with this token that says, hey, I just did a red maneuver. And until you get rid of that, you can't do another red maneuver. And other things happen too. For example, you can't do any actions when you have one of those tokens on your ship. Okay, so that's what the Klingons are going to do. What is the Enterprise going to do? Your Galaxy-class starship. Well, we think those Klingons are going to come right at us, because that's what Klingons do. So, we are going to do a red maneuver. We're going to move backwards. So, let's see what happens to those Klingon guys. We're going to go backwards. 1. Yeah, that's it. Okay, next phase. Activation. Each ship moves and performs one action in ascending order of captain skill. So that means the Klingon would go first, because this Klingon, he's a 5. Well, Captain Picard is a 9. So the Klingon would move first. So he flips over his dial. Hey, it's that 2. You look for the corresponding thingamahizit. Now you notice he's cloaked still. The Enterprise can't see him. He's cloaked. He's been cloaked for a while. So we're going to put that right there. And then we move. Oops. There. Oh, ho, ho, ho. That's... Oh, the Klingon captain, he's just going crazy there. Right? Now he gets to do his one action. What will it be? Well, the Klingon, he decides he's going to go all out. It says right here on his card what actions his ship can perform. Right there at the bottom. He could do evasive maneuvers. He could acquire a target lock. He could cloak, but he's already cloaked. Or he could do a sensor echo. Well, he decides he's going to acquire a target lock. Dun, dun, dun. How does that work? Well, you take the 2 target lock tokens. They're all labeled like A, B, or C. So I take the 2 Bs. Blue one goes there. Red one goes on the Enterprise, as long as they're in range. Oh, see, they're definitely in range by a zillion miles. And plus, there is a field of fire. Firing arc. He's definitely well within that. So, he's target locked. And that's it. That's his action. Now, it's the Enterprise's turn. Enterprises? So, we reveal what the Enterprise was going to do. Hey, he's going backward 1. So, the way you do that is you take that and you move him back right here. He takes that with him. And now the Enterprise has executed a red maneuver, so the Enterprise gets one of these. Unfortunately, that means the Enterprise doesn't get any actions. Boo-hoo. Didn't look like Jean-Luc Picard really thought that one out. They're down to 1 shield. Oh, what are they going to do? Well, it's time to move on to the combat phase. This time, Picard gets to shoot first. They don't get any actions, even the special additional action. So, Picard is going to shoot. How does he do that? Well, we look here at the Enterprise card, and it says that they have an attack of 4 with their main weapon. That's what they're going to do. So, here are their 4 attack dice. Let's check the range to see if they're going to get any bonuses there. Nope. He's in the 2 range, and there's no plus or minus for being in the 2 range. So he gets to roll 4 attack dice. Here we go. Okay. He has 1 hit and 1 critical hit. If he had been smart and had a battle stations, he could have converted both of these dice to hits. But he didn't do a battle stations action because he lost his actions. Nice going, Jean-Luc. So he got 2 hits. Well, unfortunately, the Klingon is still cloaked. So his defense, he has a defense of 1. He doesn't have any shields, though. But he gets plus 4 defense because he's cloaked. So he gets to roll 5. And he evades with every single die. So the Enterprise misses him by a gazillion miles. Oh well. Nice try, Jean-Luc. But now it's Nudak's turn. Nudak has a target lock. And what does that mean? Well, let's look at the photon torpedoes. Spend your target lock and disable this card to perform this attack. Well, this attack means he's got an attack of 5. It's in a range of 2 to 3, so he gets 5 attack dice, which is all we have. Now, the second that he does shoot, he is going to expose where he's at, so at the end of the turn, he won't be cloaked anymore. But he's cloaked for the rest of this turn anyway, which won't last much longer. So he's got 5 attack dice, and he's using this photon torpedoes. And if fired from a Vorcha-class ship, add +1 attack die. Well, that's the only type ship I have. So that's 6 attack dice. Of course, this doesn't get modified in any way, but he is within the 2 attack range. So that's 6 attack altogether. Let's roll and see what happens. Okay, that is 1 hit and 1 critical hit. Now let's look at his card. When attacking, you may convert 1 battle station result into 1 hit. Well, that's what he's going to do with this die. Boop. And that's 5 dice. He still gets to roll 1 more die. Another critical hit. So, 2 hits and 2 critical hits against poor Jean-Luc's Enterprise, who's down to 1 shield. Alright, Jean-Luc, he's going to roll his defense dice. He only has 1. Darn. Well, here he goes. He's going to roll his 1 defense die. No! So, this is not good for the Enterprise. So the first thing that happens is the Enterprise final shield goes away. That's 1 hit. Now, the next one is, here's their second hit. His third hit is a critical, which means you draw a card, and you flip it over, and you read it. At the start of combat phase, roll 1 attack die. On a hit result, suffer 1 damage. Action, flip this card face down. So, next turn, as an action, I can flip this card face down, so I don't have to worry about suffering another damage, possibly. But, unfortunately. So, that's 2 hits. I only get 5 before the Enterprise blows up. The last one is also a critical hit, so you got to read that one face up. The next time you attack, do not roll any attack dice. Then flip this card face down. Oh, stunned helmsman. So, that's little effects that can happen in the game. Those are pretty neat critical hits. So the Enterprise is in bad shape. This target lock is gone because he spent it. Photon torpedoes are disabled. But the Enterprise knows where they're at now, because they're losing that cloak. And he's down to 1 shield as well. Who will win? Well, to tell you the truth, it's not looking pretty good for the Enterprise. So there you have it. That is how you play Star Trek Attack Wing. It's a lot of fun.
It worked. Fire, Mr. Spock. Mr. Tofu, beam the Klingons down to the planet, naked and harmless as babes, and initiate Operation Triple Colony. You know, Mr. Spock, this simulation was really quite effective. Star Trek Attack Wing from Wizkids is a winner in my book. There is so much Star Trek canon out there that can be drawn upon to create tons of really interesting missions. There are many factions in Star Trek as well. It isn't simply a good guys versus bad guys game. This game really has the Star Trek feel. You've got photon torpedoes, away teams, cloaking devices, scanners, battle stations, shields, and so on. The base game comes with a planet that you can fly around, as well as minefields and asteroid fields. I really enjoy the missions. The first one in the book has each player flying to a planet to land an away team, gathering samples of dilithium crystals. While the captain is on the planet, the ships must defend themselves out in space. Once enough samples are gathered, then the away team can be beamed back on board, and the first ship to escape back to their own space wins the scenario. That is, unless one ship destroys both of the other ships. Then they can collect all of the dilithium they want at their own leisure. See what I mean? That is an episode of Star Trek in a nutshell. It's stuff like that which pushes Attack Wing over the top for me. Then again, I am a huge Star Trek fan. I expect that if you're watching this review, then you probably are too. Or you are waiting for me to just start dissing X-Wing. Well, for me, there is room in my life for both Attack Wing and X-Wing. I'll admit I'm really looking forward to playing more of the missions, and I will probably ask for some Star Trek expansions soon. Come on, Santa. Oh, drat. Maybe next Christmas. I will mention that in the base game, there really aren't any useful captains for the Klingons. You get the impression that the Klingons are a bunch of jamokes, which isn't true at all. The Federation is the only faction that has 3 separate captains to choose from. Of course, the Federation doesn't have cloaking either. Overall, I really enjoyed playing Star Trek Attack Wing from Wizkids. Thanks for joining me for this review. Let me know if you found this review helpful by leaving a comment or sending me an email at Elliott_Miller@voiceofe.com. Make sure to subscribe to the Voice of E channel on YouTube, like the Voice of E on Facebook, and visit our website at voiceofe.com, as I'll have plenty of gaming, entertainment, and comic book coverage this year. And it should be a lot of fun. Thanks again, and until next time, keep your mind free.
Get me that 6. We need more power.